So hello everyone, Grosey here, welcome back. Today we've got the second round of the Unhuntables podcast with Christopher.
Hello.
And in this video we're going to be continuing the 5p coin hunt. And 5p's were particularly tricky to hunt through. They're just awful. They're so small. They're just, very difficult to hunt through. The complete definition of an unhuntable coin. But we're going to be discussing some more topics. Let's get straight into it. So
Before we get into
obviously,
the topic, though, I just thought something that you just reminded me of. Going from a really small denomination to a large denomination. So when I'm hunting through the pennies and I do a bulk load of the pennies, when I then go back to like a £2 or 50p coin, I'm like, these coins are enormous. What's going on?
100%, 100%. When I looked through the 5p's, I then filmed a £2 coin hunt after that, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, have I shrunk, or are these coins actually bigger?
What we need to do then, the next time we do a 5p coin hunt, we need to follow up with a 25p crown hunt afterwards.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Sorry,
But no,
your flow. What were you going to
no,
say?
you're quite right. It's actually a very good point to make. It does make them feel just enormous, the £2 coins. But it made it. It was good though. No, we were discussing previously that obviously a lot has changed since what's happened last time when we've filmed the podcast. But as I said, we've discussed that on Christopher's video. So once you've watched this one, go and watch Christopher's video. Obviously, there's more topics on there to be discussed. The first thing I wanted to mention, which is a continuation of what I think we mentioned on your channel last time, was about the potential for, or not the potential, but the new Chancellor.
Yep.
We didn't know who it was going to be. We actually, I think it was only a couple of days after, got confirmation that Kwasi Kwarteng, who used to be the business secretary, I think, is now the new Chancellor, and therefore obviously Master of the Mint. I think we're going to, at some point, come up with a template of a letter or something. I think we said to see if we can all write a letter to him to ask for more coins to be circulated, because I think if we can get some traction behind that, we could start making a difference.
Yeah, because the main thing is that it seems that the Master of the Mint or the Chancellor of the Exchequer does have quite a say in what ends up in circulation. Where you've seen Rishi Sunak in the past stepping in and making sure things got circulated. Brexit, diversity, I would imagine Pride as well was a government decision that would be one that they want to circulate. Platinum Jubilee, things like that. So I think, as we've discussed numerous times, that if we can get a combined effort of viewers to contact Kwasi Kwarteng as sort of a coordinated attempt, potentially we can try and get the idea that putting more coins in circulation is good. It's not just good for coin collecting. I think it is good for the country. I think it's a good revenue maker for the Royal Mint, and I think if they don't keep circulating stuff, then it just turns people off, doesn't it?
Definitely, I think. Debatably, it's beneficial to the economy in the sense that if the coins are being kept, then obviously it means that the other 50p's that are in circulation are then more valuable. But no, I think we just have to hope that he is a coin collector in the same way that George Osborne, I'm told, was.
Yeah, and it's similar to like in the 70s and 80s. Lots of countries printed sheets and sheets of stamps because they knew collectors would buy them and would never use them. It was like writing a blank check you knew was never going to be cashed in. I think they've got the wallpaper stamp eras where these countries would just produce sheets upon sheets upon sheets of stamps that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's obviously interesting. We will keep you updated, and hopefully we'll be able to do something in 2 weeks' time with that. The only other thing I think I wanted to mention with regards to obviously the change of monarch that we're experiencing now at the moment is a question that we had before that I don't think we discussed on your part of it. Was a question that I see a lot coming up is the coins that are already in the long store that have obviously Queen Elizabeth's portrait on, such as 2021 Britannia £2 coin, we're led to believe, or if there are any, for example, Alan Turing's or Pride coins or whatever it may be that are waiting to be released. Will they be recalled and melted down, or will they be released? My view is that they will just be released as and when they are needed. I don't know if your view differs on that, or...
Yeah, so I think I don't think there's a plan to melt those down because they are no longer property of the Royal Mint. They are property of the Treasury. Once they get into long store, the Treasury has the keys. The Royal Mint has to ask them for the key to access the long store. So I couldn't envision a reason other than trying to expedite more coins with the new king on it going into circulation as that sort of transition period. But it would be rather frustrating all this time we've spent talking about the 2021 Britannia that allegedly is going into circulation for the only to be minted down.
Yes.
Because of a change of monarchs. But in fact, I did get a message by someone who said that they found a Pride 50p in circulation, so we could be
Oh, really?
we could be getting close.
That's interesting. It would be a great expense for them to melt them all down, presumably an unnecessary one as well. But we will have to see. But as I said, I have seen that comment coming up a lot, so hopefully that will address that. Well, that's just our opinion anyway on that.
Yeah, we don't know any more than the next person on the street on that topic.
Definitely. I think, but the other thing, next releases that are coming out, I reckon the next coin that gets released will be the BBC 50p. Obviously for the BBC, is it the 100th anniversary of them being founded in October 1922, which is, interesting. All I pray for is that it does not just say BBC on the coin. Could you imagine?
We've got an idea of what's going to be on it that was in the Royal Proclamation. I'm trying to rack my brain as to what...
Is it something like a man with an old camera, like where you have the hood that goes over the...
I'm sure it was like a radio tower. Or is that John Logie Bird?
Oh.
I'm mixing things up.
Actually, I don't know.
I think it's definitely in the Royal Proclamation. A sort of a brief idea of what the design could be. I think it's a radio mast with something coming out. Well, a television mast, not radio mast. Television mast or whatever it is with some sort of signal coming out of it.
I see. Now that would be interesting, as we'll have to wait and see. But I feel like there's a lot to be released in the last sort of 3 months of the year. Again, we were mentioning the £2, 25 years of the £2 coin, the bimetallic.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because there's supposed to be 4 sets of 5 coins or 5 sets of 4 coins. I forget now.
Something, yeah.
And I'm going to imagine they're going to be priced 50 to 64 quid a pop. That's 4 or 5 sets of those. 4 Harry Potter coins, Snowman and Snowdog. I would imagine a Queen Elizabeth the Memorial coin will be out before the end of the year as well.
Yeah, that'll obviously be a last minute one as well, won't it? And obviously the BBC one.
There's one more in the Monarch series due out this year. I forget which Monarch it was. There was a whole schedule released by the Royal Mint at the start of that series, but there's another. It's not a collection, I must admit, that I purchased myself, and I don't think you do either, do you?
No, bit too above my league.
It's a shame because it was a really beautiful set of coins. Some of them.
If they could have done those in sort of brilliant uncirculated on £5 coins or something, that would have been very good. But it is what it is, I suppose.
Yeah, but it does seem like the months are disappearing, and the schedule to release, well, at least the things we know that are going to come out before the end of the year, doesn't seem to be diminishing much.
No, 100%.
Especially we'll be over Christmas. We'll have had all the coins out we're expecting, and then we'll begin into annual sets, and again it'll all start going mad again.
Definitely, and I think the annual set, as we said before, if that's the first set of coins that has King Charles on, that'll be a very hot topic of coins, if you know what I mean. It'll be
It's going to be a very popular release. I think we've got a whole bunch of popular releases. The Harry Potter ones are going to go crazy, I would imagine. The first portraits of King Charles on it's going to go pretty bonkers. I think when he gets coronated? When he goes through his coronation, that's going to get...
Coronated. I think that is a word.
I'm not sure.
It just sounds wrong there.
Yeah. And then obviously the anniversary of the Queen's death next year, I think, are going to be pinch points in the year of extra interest in coin collecting. That's notwithstanding anything unexpected we don't know is going to happen as well.
Definitely, yeah. There's always the chance for surprise releases. I mean, who knows? You can never predict these things, really. Yeah. That's interesting. The other thing that I was mentioning, I think it was when we were at the Royal Mint last, was what I think would be so cool is if the brilliant uncirculated coins and the Strike Your Owns had their own privy marks to indicate that it is a brilliant uncirculated or a Strike Your Own coin. Really?
It did. Do you know which one it was?
The 20p?
No. A Strike Your Own.
It was the 2019 Britannia, wasn't it?
No.
The one that has the little...
That privy mark was on the brilliant uncirculated ones as well. There is one Strike Your Own that has a privy mark different from every other release of that coin.
No idea. I can't remember. It's probably one that was before when I went.
In fact, it might be before you were born. It was the Millennium Dome strike at the actual Millennium Dome in the year 2000.
All my time.
Doesn't that make you feel old? Doesn't that make you feel old? My goodness. I remember going to the Millennium Dome, but then they do you when it opens. Oh dear. Yeah, that did have a Millennium Dome mint mark on it. So not without precedence. Although I'd be interested to know, does the Royal Mint need to get extra permissions to adjust the design for the Strike Your Own? I don't know.
Potentially. I don't know. But it's interesting because then it becomes more than just buying the packaging for it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but the way to sell it is to say that it's for security reasons, that so that coin collectors that are far and away aren't getting ripped off with fake coin, non-Strike Your Own coins being put in Strike Your Own packaging.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's the selling point to the Royal Mint, I think.
No, 100%. And then I think for brilliant uncirculated ones it would be good as well.
Why?
For the reason that if you do find them out and about, there's no debate on thickness or...
I don't think there's much of a debate on thickness, Grosey.
Anyway, I think that brilliant uncirculated coins are, as a byproduct of the manufacturing process, sharper. Anyway, we've had this conversation.
We have. You know exactly where the next stop on this is.
And the other thing I've done is sent some more coins off to NGC to be graded. Have you done any coin grading? I don't think you have.
I have not.
No, but Benjamin Bunny rotation error, they do exist. I found one a couple of weeks ago on my video. Which will be, if I remember, in a little iCard at the top right. There we are, making use of those iCards. That it'd be so cool, I think, to have one of those rotation errors in a slab, like actually certified as an error by NGC. I think that'd be.
If I was to slab anything, because slabbing the BU or proof ones doesn't do much for me. But if I get the one that would potentially persuade me is my egg error. I think that'd be a cool one.
Oh, definitely, that would be interesting. And I guess it
but
also
now that I've said this in presence of Grosey, I know that he's going to harass me endlessly until that's done now.
Well, I think it would be cool. As I said, it's more to just authenticate it as an actual coin. It's like I was suggesting to Bo that he should get his mule
Kitchener
error, the Kitchener. That's it. Sent in. That'd be an amazing one to get graded. Imagine. No, that'd be very good as well. And I'm just trying to think. What else have we got on the list?
Do you know the process of them authenticating an error as an error? Do they have an in-house specialist that decide that, or? Because, like,
to be honest with you,
my concern is that grading can be rather subjective down to the grader that you get grading that coin. Obviously, they have guidelines, but it's at the end of the day, it's just like marking an exam paper. If it's a big essay question,
although
there's some subjection to that.
My understanding, because they have a couple of videos on there, obviously it's the USA headquarters that I watched the video on, but I can only imagine it's the same for the one in London above the Spink coin shop, which is where they're based. What they do is they have about a team of 5 or 6 different graders that will all look at the same coin and enter their grade for it, and then they determine like an average grade for that, I think.
Okay.
I think.
The unknown quantity.
Yeah. So, yeah, and so they will all grade the same coin, and then I think they'll come to a conclusion based on what the graders have done, and then they'll sort of take an average, I think, is how that works. I don't know. I think with errors and things, that there's certainly like a lot of the stuff that we find and we say, oh, that's an error, that's a minuscule rotated
an anomaly.
Yes, they probably wouldn't really take any interest in that. I think, for example, a rotation error has to be more than, I think, 15 degrees. Otherwise they won't count it as an error. It would just be like, as you say, an anomaly or a variety or something. But to be fair, compared to what we saw at the Mint, when the guy showed us through the wall some of those error coins that they have, it makes the stuff that we find in our change seem just...
pathetic.
Yes. Like where you've got £2 coins that have been pressed together and then it creates some sort of shape of a coin. That's an actual sort of error that's really an error.
I did actually get to see a very cool error at work with the Britannia Coin Company. I believe the term was brokage. I can't remember exactly what it was now, but what the term was. But it's whereby it's the old coin presses. One coin's gone in, been struck, and then it hasn't quite made it out of the press, so another blank's got in underneath it, so it's been struck.
Oh, I see.
And has the reverse imprint of the design on one side and the the design from the die below it as well. So it's got the same design but reversely struck, effectively.
Oh, I see. That's interesting.
I can't remember which coin it was. It was a historic coin. I think it was like 1700s penny, if memory serves. But that was a very cool coin to handle.
No, I can imagine it must be very interesting. I've seen a couple of ghosted coins, I think is what it was called, where I think it was an Indian quarter anna or something, where on the reverse of it you obviously have the design, but you can see an outline of the portrait of the monarch on the other side on the reverse, which is quite interesting. That's very interesting. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure in a couple of weeks, maybe 6 weeks or so, whenever it comes back, which is normally their lead time, I will endeavour to show you guys the graded Benjamin Bunny rotation error, assuming it gets a grade. Yeah, and that being said, let's get back to the 5Ps and see what we found in the hunt. And there we go, that is absolutely everything. So this one I kept just in case this was the only thing. It's just a bit red, I mean, who cares? But we did get 2 jerseys from 2008. Very nice. And then also 1990. I will just double check off to the side to make sure we've not got any of the other sort of key dates. And unfortunately, no other key dates again. Bit of a complete waste of time. But anyway, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Make sure you leave a like down below. Check out Christopher's channel as well. And I'll see you in the next video. See you later. Bye bye.